It's been the Troublemaker Coach, and one of the key lessons that I've learnt through years of building a side hustle while I'm doing FIFO is the amount of time that you can literally waste trying to work something out. And straight after this video, you're going to watch an old video that I did where I talked about how I got sucked down a black hole for 2 days trying to work out a piece of software after a Catalina update on my Mac. So what I've done inside the Fifo Troublemaker community is adapted a system called Scrum where they use a thing called the pen. The way that it works is when you hit an issue, you get stuck on something, you post something in the pen and tag me up and say, how do I move on from this? Because I can pretty much guarantee you, no matter what you come up against, I've been through it before myself. So I'm going to hand you over to Previous Benny in just a few seconds, and he's going to talk you through how to avoid ending up like I did with Catalina for 2 days down a black hole while using Scrum and the pen. When you're ready to start getting even more traction for your side hustle or your bull tower brand, head across and check out the Fifo Troublemakers community, and we'll speak soon. Do you know what the biggest problem with modern technology is? Well, it actually happened to me the other day, and that's it can very quickly suck you down a black hole that can last hours, if not days. And when you get sucked into it, you start getting overwhelmed, frustrated. You waste even more time on it because you're making poor decisions because of the overwhelm and the frustration, and it just spirals out of control. So what I'm going to show you today is a system called Scrum. This happened to me, and I should know better. I know this system, which is the art of doing twice the work in half the time, that will stop you from getting caught in those downward spirals. Right, before I forget, if you like this video, it resonates with you, and you think, I want to know a bit more about what Beanie does, if you head across to that link down the bottom there, fknmad.club, when you're ready, there is 3 ways that I can help you take this stuff and get it done. As I said, there's a lot of how to do stuff out there. There's very little stuff that teach you about how to take that stuff and actually get it done. That's what all of those programs are about. All right, so recently Mac updated their operating systems. A new one called Catalina. That's what the title of this video is, how Catalina sucked me down a black hole for 2 days. And this piece of software that I'm using at the moment to live stream with is an awesome piece of software called Ecamm Live, and I will link to it below this video after. So if you want to have a look at it, it allows me to do these, see how these little videos run in the side here. If I want to swap scene, I just hit boom, and we'll go to a new scene. There's a new little video running for you in the side there. It does all this stuff. It's a magic piece of software. It's for technophobes like me. Actually, there's a poll on here too. If you click on that, let me know whether you have tech issues or you don't. That'll tell me what sort of videos I need to make in future. All right, so these 2 bits of software wouldn't talk to each other. I literally spent 2 days trying to sort this problem out, going backwards and forwards, trying different things on my computer. I'm not a technical person, and this is a problem with modern technology. They actually started to improve that with all this technological advances that we've got and access to all this gear we've got. I mean, there's more computing power in your phone than they had back in the 60s, put a man on the moon. We're becoming less productive. And the reason we're becoming less productive is exactly what I'm talking about now. We try and fix things that we don't really understand, and we should just spend a little bit of time trying to fix it. If it doesn't work, set it aside, because what happened in the end with me was, like, after 2 days of messing around with it, I decided I've had enough of this, and I stayed up because they're on a different time zone to what I am. So I stayed up a little bit later and went and called the tech support, funnily enough. Well, just messaged them on Facebook. I had it sorted in about 10 minutes. So all of those 2 days were absolutely wasted on something that I was never going to fix because I didn't know how to do it. But I got into that loop that I was talking about before, where you're overwhelmed, you're frustrated, you just think, oh, I'll just try this and I'll just try that, and another hour ticks by, another hour ticks by. But Scrum gives you the visibility, because of the way that you use it, to show you that, hang on a minute, you're wasting way too much time on this, and it's in your face. And it stops you from doing this. As I say, I should have known better. I should have had a Scrum ticket written for this so that it didn't become a problem. All right, so you want to see a Scrum board, don't you? Here's one I prepared earlier. Okay, so I'm going to read you just a little bit out of this book to tell you about, and they talk in here about how when people have systems to follow, they're far more happier, and that produces more revenue for your business as well. This is from page 152. If you don't have this book, you need to get it. I found happiness metric to be predictive. Financials look at what happened in the past, but when you ask people how happy they are, they absolutely project into the future. And when you think about how happy they are with the company, they start projecting out they think the company is doing. So what are the things that actually make people happy? They're the same things that make great teams: autonomy, mastery, and purpose. Or to say it more expansively, it's the ability to control your own destiny. It's a feeling that you're getting better at something, and it's knowing that you're serving something bigger than you, yourself. There are also some easy, concrete steps management could take to get the culture of a company to encourage those qualities. One element of Scrum that's often a prelude to achieving autonomy, mastery, and purpose is transparency. Like I said before, I could have seen this if I had written up a ticket, put the ticket up on the board. The idea is there should be no secret cabal, no hidden agendas, nothing hidden behind the curtain. Far too often in a company, it isn't really clear what everyone's working on or how each person's daily activities advance the goals of the company. All right, so if you look at this here, I don't know if you can see where my mouse is just there. On the left-hand side, that's the backlog. So there, it's highly technical Scrum. You have to be able to use a Sharpie pen and sticky notes and put them on a board and move them to be able to use it properly. So if you can do that, you're well on top of this. So that's the backlog of what needs to get done in there. Then when it's in the ready column, the ticket's written so that it can be closed out. It has to be, what does the end look like? For this ticket, what should have happened, what I should have written on there was and 50 minutes should be a maximum amount of time that you waste on something like this. So I should have wrote a ticket that said, spend 50 minutes using, trying to fix this issue between Catalina and Ecamm Live. And that should have then gone into my today column down the bottom. And when I worked on that ticket, you can't have more than, I think, 6 tickets in your today column at any given time, so you're not trying to work on too many tasks at once. I should have known I was working on that. When I did that 50 minutes, and I tracked that as well, I tracked that timing with a little called toggle. At the end of that 50 minutes, I would have realised you're not going to fix this. You're not going to come up with a solution to this, Benny. What happens then is it moves to the column above today, which is the pen. And the pen's where you put all your problems that you can't fix, that are held up for something, that have hit a roadblock. So at that point, when I went to the pen, I should have gone, what I need to do next is contact tech support. So then I would have made another ticket up that said contact tech support, and I would have put the Catalina fix up in the pen there, held off, called their tech support when it was time to do that. Then when it's done, it gets moved to the done column. And you can see how this stuff flows and it works. And I have to say here, do not be fooled by the simplicity of this. There's a Leonardo da Vinci saying, simplicity is the ultimate sophistication. You put this thing up, you start using this, I guarantee you, this get twice the work done in half the time. That's not even right. It's far more than that. And they say teams that use it and use it well get up to 400 to 800% more productivity. Just because everyone knows what's going on. When you've got a team working on that board's only for me. So I only see the tasks that I'm doing on there. But you can have a whole team working on that Scrum board like that. And then everyone see the different colours. I'll flick back to that scene again. See if you got, say, John's blue, Mary's yellow, Fred's pink, Sammy's green. So you can see exactly who's working on what projects at any given time, what actual tasks they're working on. You can see whether stuff's getting done, whether it's held up. How many times have you gone to a meeting and someone says, what's happening with this? And you go, oh, it's held up with an issue somewhere. You don't have that problem anymore. You don't wait for meetings. The whiteboard's there. If there's a problem with it, it's up in the pen. And so you can deal with it immediately. You can start dealing with those issues. You can see when people are struggling. You can see what's getting worked on, what's not. Complete and utter transparency. All with the highly technical bits of gear, which is Sharpie pen, sticky note, and whiteboard. So if you're capable of using all those things, if you want to know a bit more about how you go and get this, because this, what you have to do, of course, coming back to the book Atomic Habits, is and I'll read this, I've read it before and I'll read it again. People often think it's weird to get hyped up about reading one page or meditating for 1 minute or making one sales call. The point is not to do one thing. The point is to master the habit of showing up. The truth is, a habit must be established before it can be improved. You can't learn the basic skill of showing up, then you have little hope of mastering the finer details. Instead of trying to engineer the perfect habit from the start, do the easy thing on a more consistent basis. You have to standardize before you can optimize. Easy thing for everyone to do on a consistent basis is to get them, it should be under 2 minutes to start with, to create a habit to start with, to get used to using Scrum, is to give everyone a Sharpie and a sticky note. Make them write one ticket every day, put it on the board. That's enough to get you started. Want more help? fknmad.club. And remember what the world's greatest showman, P.T. Barnum, said. Without promotion, something terrible happens. Nothing. Speak soon.